Hey guys, ScrawtVermillion here, and we're back here again with another Street Fighter 6 video. Inspired by my complete guide series on the Melty Blood series, we are going to talk about Luke, my main in Street Fighter 6. This guide is going to talk about neutral, offense, defense, alongside some tips and tricks for some of the trickier setups. Let's get started. Some of the pros of Luke is straightforward tools, very easy to understand, quite frankly, amazing with punish buttons. We'll discuss about those later. Hit confirmable moves, and pretty solid offense for what it's worth. However, there are quite a bit of things to look out when playing Luke. First of all, he has very low damage on most confirms, very weak to perfect parry, especially the standing variation of perfect parry, very meter hungry, drive meter in particular, and a screen awareness when it comes to combos, what route to use, etc. He is a straightforward character, but if you want to unlock that potential, right, that next level, you need to put some work. So let's go over the neutral now. The most important buttons are standing medium kick, crouching medium kick, standing heavy punch, standing medium punch, and standing light punch. When you're just playing neutral and you're trying to go for what button to press, go for whip punishes, these are the buttons you want to press. Now, someone learning the game, I want you to be on training mode and learn the effective range of the buttons. That means, see, the distance where you can press the button and the button will connect. This is very important. This will decide what buttons you can press, what buttons the opponent expects out of you, and that will create a game plan for you. Let's discuss Sandblast. Sandblast is a poke. In Street Fighter, most fireballs often work as control space tools. Luke's pokes are different than that. His fireball is to condition the opponent and tell him there is a range where I dominate and you have to do something about it. If you play in an area for the medium Sandblast in particular, this area is killer because you don't even have to throw a fireball and the opponent will be expecting it, assuming you've shown it earlier. This means that sometimes they may just jump at you without doing anything. This opens for an anti-air. While the Sandblasts are really good, the OD Sandblast in particular is really good at Fireball Wars. It's so good that even using the OD Fireball extension that Luke has will beat other OD Fireballs in some cases. While Luke's neutral is mostly known for its very effective Drive Rush with Drive Rush Medium Punch and Drive Rush Suppressor, you do not have to be aggressive all the time. Just by being in the effective ranges, by threatening something like a Sandblast or a Drive Rush, the opponent might be conditioned to do something about it. It is important to show the option, but show also restraint whenever necessary. If the opponent is good, they will be able to check your Drive Rush and punish you for them. Speaking of Drive Rush, important ones are Drive Rush Jab, Drive Rush Medium Punch, and Drive Rush Suppressor. I think to get started, a very good strategy is simply to tilt the opponent with medium kicks. This button is amazing. It is only +1 on a hit, but it doesn't need to do more than that. You can bully opponents with this move if they're not prepared for it, and once you see they're trying to mash over it, then is when you start looking for whip punishes. Standing light punch is actually a pretty interesting normal. It is one of the slowest light normals in the game at 7 frames. However, it moves you forward, has pretty good reach. Use this when walking forward and trying to catch the opponent walking backwards. This can be pretty good at approaching, and even though it is slow, if you press it preemptively, you will make up for with the distance, right? Just look how long it takes Ryu to actually walk forward and hit me with the light versus me. So be mindful about that. It's slow, but it can get the job done and get something started. Standing heavy punch is probably Luke's longest reaching poke and one of the most important ones too. And more importantly, this is the move that you're gonna be using to cancel into light Sandblast. That does almost a full bar of drive chip. Standing medium punch has an interesting niche where, yeah, it has good reach just like the heavy punch, but the reward is much lower. Now, the difference is that this button by itself is already safe at -3 to 2, and you can hit confirm it into a target combo. This will give you Oki. Luke has a pretty solid standing light kick. The problem here is that his cancels aren't the best here. Light knuckle can actually miss at some ranges. Light sandblast is not a true combo outside of counter hit, and it's also not even pretty good on hit. However, this is a pretty good checker, and if with punishing, you just need to cancel immediately into drive rush. Rising uppercut is a very average anti-air for what it's worth. Honestly, out of the DP anti-airs, it might be the worst. His neutral is not bad at all. He has pretty good drive rush that can also condition the opponent. And while not having the best movement speed, he can make it work. Now let's talk about defense. Defense is pretty straightforward with Luke. We have an OD reversal, which you can enhance for some more damage. We also have access to an invincible level 1 that is 6 frame startup. This is actually super useful, and I recommend throwing it out if you fear getting into burnout by using an OD reversal. He has a 23 frame backdash, which is pretty whatever, but you can beat some throw loops with it. Lastly, I want to highlight Suppressor. This move is kinda ridiculous and can help you fight some autopilot offense. You can get pretty high reward from this. Now let's talk about drive rush cancels. First of all, your important drive rush cancels are going to be crouching medium kick and standing hard punch. From crouching medium kick, you almost always want to cancel on crouching light punch on block. It is +2 right in their face, meaning they cannot contest with buttons versus the throw, and you will be able also to use the crouching light kick in case they try to walk back. Once you start fighting better opponents, you kinda need to find ways to add delays to your offense. Reason being is that delay tech will beat both of these options. This is a good layer 1 to use. If you somehow get a crouching medium punch into drive rush cancel, you can gel into the crouching medium punch again. This opens up shimmy. Let's talk about some mind games now. So the reason I've been saying you almost always want to gel into the crouching light punch from crouching medium kick is because anything else will lose to reversal. On standing hard punch, you do have a couple reads that you could do with the opponent because you are able to block and punish accordingly. Versus an opponent that knows this, they will most likely let you get away with a lot of stuff. Things like heavy punch into overhead become a reality once they're conditioned. Welcome to the offense section. Here we're gonna cover 2 parts. First is gonna be Okizeme, and the second one is gonna be overall strategy in offense. After your basic BMB, you can dash up, stand heavy punch into light sandblast for guaranteed drive damage. You'll make almost a full drive back too. You also take away the almost 1 drive bar from the opponent. Remember about that, very important. In the corner, you can set up a meaty for heavy punch, which will frame trap the follow-up, unlike if you do it without a meaty. If you shoulder charge, you're +7 and in their face, which lets you do a strike throw mix-up. Notice that you have to commit to jump or backdash to catch the tech properly. If the opponent delay techs, you might be able to actually shimmy them, but at lower levels, where opponents just wake up throw for no reason, you might actually lose for. So, be aware of that. After the charge heavy knuckle, you can auto time a meaty knee, which will keep you +1. Notice that this will not guarantee a throw, as the opponent can simply walk back for that, and they will get a big punish on you. For that, you want to condition with crouching light kick in case they walk back. I will not make a full-on Oki guide for the corner, but there are a couple things out there that I think are important to note, especially now that Luke gets pretty much the same ender on most of his routes. First of all, he gets a medium if you go for this auto time. However, this one isn't as threatening because even if you use another crouching medium punch, which will trade with 4 frame jabs, you can't really get much out of it. I personally love this Okizeme I learned from Hinao. It looks like you're disengaging, but the throw hits meaty here. You can also shimmy or meaty or, honestly, I just take it on the throw. It's really good for opponents that are pretty good and expect you to shimmy them. Lastly, I want to highlight this frame kill. It will be important later. Keep it in mind. In the corner is where the games begin. Obviously, we have our chain of 3 jabs. Pretty standard pressure for this game. If the opponent is respecting a jab, then we can kind of switch it up. Maybe 1 or 2 jabs into walk-up throw. Maybe 1-2 jabs into the melee medium, or you can do some other things. Some people really like to press buttons after the 3 jabs. And here's why. You can actually counter hit a couple things that Luke wants to do here. Something like jab here is really hard to catch, but you can do it. But here is when the layers come. You can represent heavy knuckle. This gives you massive rewards, gives you a safe gem, and the cancel to level 3 is kinda insane. Crouching medium punch becomes the god tool in the corner. At low levels, you have to ensure that people are aware that it is your turn. It is indeed +1, so make sure that they are aware of that. Just represent this basic string to start off. You can end this block string with a sandblast, however, be mindful that some characters can punish this if they have a broken 6-framer like Aki. The mix-up comes when the opponent has been conditioned and stops pressing after the medium punch. Some good options are walk medium punch again, cause why not, walk throw, or shimmy. Punk once told me that crouching medium punch is the mix-up and the reason you play Luke. I always thought I had to enforce my turn with the jab after, but that made my offense non-threatening. So even though this is pretty strong versus mashers, at some point either they will stop or they will lose. At higher levels, people will actually just respect the medium punch, so make sure to take advantage of that. Versus people that jump a lot, I recommend discouraging this behavior by using the plus frames to move backwards and get a proper DP. A crush cut DP is cool and all, but you're giving out the corner and you want to keep it as much as you can. Remember, Luke is a very simple character mix-up wise. Most of your openings will come from the opponent trying to find a way out. Use your neutral tools early on to figure out what type of opponent you're fighting. Throw loops are really strong, obviously, but Luke is susceptible to backdash or getting reversal on his offense. The following options have different risk reward to kinda mix into this. Shimmy, reward, really high, risk, kinda low. You disengage with the opponent, but if they take a throw, they will get punished heavily. If the opponent mashes, you will block, most likely, but if they wake up low forward, you're getting sniped most of the time, so be aware of that. Delayed jab. Reward, low to medium, risk, low. This option will punish backdashes, which are difficult to punish on shimmy, alongside other options. Because you will not get a punish counter on top of it, being a weak starter, your reward will be smaller. Do not do this at low level. Wait until you're 1600 plus MR to use this technique. This will lose clean to wake up immediate throw. Low opponents already do not delay tech, hence shimmy works better versus them, as you can see here. Delay, heavy kick. Reward, high, risk, medium. This option works similarly to delay jab, with the exception that these will lose to reversals. But if they get clipped trying to tech or backdash, they will get punished for pretty good damage, even meterless. Not bad versus more experienced players. Do this versus people who are quote-unquote taking the throw and they're just standing there. And of course, throw again. I won't do a full combo guide. There are some out there on the internet and I think they're made by very good creators, so check them out. I'll give you some combo tips and tricks for some of the trickier stuff. I made a video long ago talking about how to get the perfect knuckles. I left some techniques I was using during the beta almost 3 years ago. I feel old. But basically, you have a 3-frame window to land the perfect knuckle, and it's gonna take some time. Some people use the screen, some people have ways to double tap it, some people scream out loud like I do in the video, so check that out. 1, 2, 3. You see, it still works. If you're a beginner, I recommend you using this combo. The reason I'm telling you not to do the double fail knuckle combo is that the Okizeme is really trash. This one at least leaves you for a mix-up. Try to do the uppercut as your ender whenever possible. They often do more damage than light knuckle, and you should be using the crouch shortcut DP to do these. You can check it on my inputs. For this combo, if you want to get the real ender, you want to buffer DP on the second punch of the OD knuckle. Then you walk forward and press heavy punch. This gives you the best damage, Oki, and it looks really cool, but it has a big execution barrier. A replacement for this is just doing a walking medium uppercut, which is much easier to time, but as you can see, the Oki is not the same. If not, you can just keep it easy and then do medium knuckle. If your opponent is just past the round start position, this combo would always reach the corner and allow you to get the air extension. Otherwise, stick to the normal combo. Make sure you're familiar with this position across all the different stages. There is a curse zone where none of your normal combos work. This range is roughly around 4 dashes and a step after your reset. You can do heavy DP here or uncharged knuckle. Now we'll go about some miscellaneous tech that I've been gathering throughout the years. While Luke's down jab kinda sucks, doing this setup will guarantee a safe jab versus Ed's reversals. This also beats level 1 by the way, and there's another way to beat his reversal, keep it in mind. Versus characters that have used low forward to start your offense, you can use heavy kick to low crush them and get solid reward. This is a common example. Be mindful, both buttons start on frame 10. If they are far and you're holding burnout pressure, suppressor can beat certain characters. Try some sequences and check what you can contest. Learn this forbidden drive impact combo just so you can say you landed it. I've never seen it in a real match. Gal has to be careful about throwing booms when he's close to the corner. Otherwise, this is a thing to look out for. Also, they have to be aware of that OD charge. It's silly, but it works sometimes. Kimberly is really tough as Luke. They will try to make your uppercut whiff with the fast fall. Be careful, don't uppercut that often. Learn your ranges, especially for the OD version. It's pricey, but it's important to discourage this behavior. These are some of the things that you can do to Dawsons that do not contest your heavy kick properly. The Chun matchup is pretty tough. You have to control your space with your fireball, and you have to deal with a pretty speedy character that also has an anti-fireball tool on Hasanshu. Here's how you deal with Hasanshu. Couple punishes. That about does it for this episode of Complete Guide Special Edition Street Fighter 6 for my current main Luke. Hope that you guys learned something from it. It was very fun to make. A lot of research went into that. And leave a comment if it was helpful. Leave a comment if there's other characters you might be interested in. I might collab with other people to give you more tech, because I really want to expand Street Fighter knowledge in NA. I want this region to be very strong, and I'm tired of hiding tech, man. I don't want people hiding stuff for nationals. We gotta step it up, man. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for staying until the end, and hope you guys have a great one.